Hi. Before you touch a single switch in your networking career, you need to understand this one thing. Access ports and trunk ports, two types. And if you mix them up, your network breaks. Your VLANs stop working, your devices stop communicating, and you might need to spend hours troubleshooting this. I have seen this happen many times in my career, and today I'm going to fix that for good. So, today I'm going to explain access ports and trunk ports using real analogies, real Cisco commands, and live hands on lab right here on EVNG. By the end of this video, you will never confuse these two again. So, let's go. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, I make networking and security simple, practical, just labs and learning. So today's topic is access ports versus trunk ports. Let's break this down. Before we talk about access or trunk ports, let's remember what a switch actually does. A switch connects devices together inside a network. Every cable you plug into a switch goes to a port. That port decides how traffic handled. Now, switches support something called VLANs, virtual LANs. Think of VLANs as a separate rooms inside the same building. Devices in room 1 can't talk to the devices in room 2 unless you set it up that way. VLANs are the reason that we have two types of ports. The port needs to know, should I carry one VLAN or many VLANs? That's the core question, and the answer determines whether you configure it as an access port or trunk port. Alright, access ports. Let's get into this. An access port belongs to one VLAN, just one. Think of it like a door that is only leads to one room. You plug in your PC, a printer, an IP phone into access ports. The device itself doesn't even know it's on an VLAN. It just sends normal traffic. The switch handles all the VLAN logic behind the scenes. Here's the analogy I love. Imagine you are in an office building. The employee badge only lets you into one floor. You swipe, you go in, but you can only access your floor. That's an access port. The device equals the employee, the VLAN equals the floor, the switch port equals the badge reader. Simple. One device, one VLAN, one direction. So if we have VLAN 10 for sales and VLAN 20 for HR, my sales PC plug into an access port assigned to VLAN 10. My HR PC plugins to an access port assigned to VLAN 20. They have the same physical switch but completely isolated from each other. That's the power of VLANs, and that's the job of the access port. So, when do we need trunk ports? Number one, switch to switch link. If you have two switches and you want to VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 to pass between them, you need trunk between those two switches. Number two is router on a stick. One physical cable, multiple VLANs. The router handles inter-VLAN routing. We'll do a full video on that too, but today trunking is the foundation. Now, here's the technical magic. How does the trunk port keep VLANs from mixing? It uses 802.1q tagging. A little tag is added to every Ethernet frame that passes through a trunk port. That tag says I am belong to VLAN 10 or I belongs to VLAN 20. The receiving switch reads the tag, scripts it, and delivers the frame to the right VLAN. Let's go into the lab. Here's a simple network. Switch 1 has sales PC on VLAN 10, HR PC on VLAN 20. Switch 2 also has sales PC on VLAN 10 and HR PC on VLAN 20. Between the two switches, one cable, one trunk link. The PCs connect to access ports, one VLAN each. The switch to switch cable is trunk, carries both VLANs. Without the trunk, VLAN 10 on switch 1 can't reach VLAN 10 on switch 2. With the trunk, everything flows perfectly. This is the architecture of every real world enterprise network. Offices, data centers, hospitals, all built on these concepts. Okay, let's stop talking theory and go into the lab. Alright, I have EVNG open right here. If you don't have EVNG, I will drop the link in the description. It's free to use, the community edition, and it's what I use for all my labs. Here's the topology I have built for today. I'll drop this topology file in the comments so you can download it and follow along. Let's start configuring. First, let's create our VLANs. I will go to switch 1. I'm going to enable mode and then configuration mode, and let's create VLAN 10 first. Name, sales, exit. Then now I'm creating VLAN 20. Name HR. Perfect. VLAN 10 for sales, VLAN 20 for HR. Now let's configure PC1's port as an access port in VLAN 10. So here PC1 connects to Ethernet 1. Let's exit here and go to interface Ethernet 0/1. Switch port mode access. Switch port access VLAN 10. Description PC1 sales. Exit. Now PC2's port access port in VLAN 20. Interface Ethernet 0/2. Switch port mode access. Switch port access VLAN 20. Description PC2 HR. Exit. Let me verify that with do show VLAN brief. Beautiful. You can see VLAN 10 is assigned to Ethernet 0/1. VLAN 20 is assigned to Ethernet 0/2. Now I'm going to configure switch 2 as well. Done. Both switches have their end device ports configured as access ports. Now the most important part. This is the link between switch 1 and switch 2 on my topology. That's Ethernet 0/0 from both ends. Let's configure it as trunk. On switch 1, I'm already in the config mode. I'm going to interface Ethernet 0/0 trunk encapsulation .1q switch port mode trunk switch port trunk allowed VLAN 10, 20. Description trunk to switch to exit. Notice switch port trunk encapsulation.1q that sets up 802.1q tagging. On some newer switches this is automatic, but on all the Cisco iOS you need to specify this. Switch port mode trunk makes this a trunk port. Switch port trunk allowed VLAN 10 and 20 explicitly allowed only VLAN 10 and 20. Best practice, never allow all VLANs unless you need to. On switch 2, same thing on Ethernet 0/0. Let's verify the trunk with show interfaces. Trunk. You can see mode on and encapsulation .1q and status is trunking. And one more useful command, show interfaces trunk. This shows all trunk ports, super useful for troubleshooting. Now the moment of truth. Let's test this. I have given these IP addresses to my Windows machines. Now let's go into PC1. This is PC1 and let's go to CMD IP config. You can see I have given 192.168.1 to 10 to this PC, and let's try to ping this PC3 which is on the same VLAN but on different switch. Ping 192.168.10.2. I have given this IP to this PC. Yes, look at that. VLAN 10 traffic flows perfectly across trunk from switch 1 to switch 2. I'm now pinging from PC4 on switch 2 to PC2 in switch 1, which is on the same VLAN 20. Ping 192.168.20.1. Yep, also working. VLAN 20 traffic is flowing across the same trunk cable but completely separated from VLAN 10. Now here's the final test. What happens if PC1 tries to reach PC2, same switch but different VLAN? Let's go to PC1, ping 192.168.20.1. Oh, no response. PC1 and PC2 are on the same physical switch, literally right next to each other, but they cannot communicate because they are in different VLANs. That's the power of VLAN segmentation. And that's why you need to understand access ports and trunk ports to build secure, organized network. To reach across VLANs, you would need a router or a layer 3 switch. That's a topic for another video. I'll link it at the end. That's it for today. Here's what you have learned. Access port equals one VLAN for end devices. Trunk port equal multiple VLANs for switch to switch and switch router links. 802.1q tagging is how trunk ports keep VLANs separated, and how to configure both in Cisco iOS, how to verify and test in EVNG. If this video helps you, hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps this channel grow and reach more networking students just like you. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I drop new networking labs every week, and comment below access if you access port finally clicked, or trunk if trunk ports are your takeaway today. And I read every single comment as well. I'll see you in the next one. Keep blabbing, keep learning. Let's go.